So you're a first-time founder, and you know that feeling, right? You're sending out the emails, you're getting on the calls, and you're just met with, well, crickets. It's a huge struggle. But what if I told you the reason you're getting dismissed has almost nothing to do with your resume? Let's dig into what's really going on. Yeah, this is the big one, isn't it? The question that keeps so many founders staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. You've got this amazing idea, you've got the passion, but you just can't seem to break through the noise. Is it your age? The fact that you don't have a big exit under your belt? It's so easy to think it's all about what you're missing from your past. But here's the real deal. What you think is an experience problem is actually a signal problem. See, investors aren't passing just because you're new to the game. They're passing because you're not sending them the right signals, the little clues that prove you can learn fast and build something that actually lasts. So let's get right down to it. Investors are hunting for proof. And it's not proof that you've got it all figured out. Nobody does. It's proof that you can learn, that you can stay focused, and that you can actually get things done. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you provide that proof, starting right now. Look, you can't hop in a time machine and get a different degree or found a different startup 5 years ago. That stuff is completely out of your control. But what you can absolutely 100% control is what investors see from you today. When they see real thoughtfulness, a clear structure, and just a serious intent, man, that is what makes them lean in. All right, let's kick things off with the first major mindset shift you need to make. This is all about going from being a hacker who just wants to ship features to being a builder who is obsessed with protecting the long-term value of their company. This shift alone sends a ridiculously powerful signal. Just think about the different vibes these two mindsets give off. The hacker is all about speed, chasing the next shiny idea. To an investor, that can look a lot like a fun weekend project, not a billion-dollar company. But the builder, they're focused. They're trying to build a lasting company by protecting what makes them special. That signals a serious business. And a perfect example of this builder mindset in action is protecting your intellectual property. You know, taking a step like filing a provisional patent, especially if you're in a deep tech or AI space. It does way more than just give you legal cover. It's a signal. It's a flag in the ground that says, hey, we're not just messing around here. We are building something real, something defensible. Okay, so you've adopted that builder mindset. Awesome. Now, how do you actually communicate that? How do you show investors that you have some real strategic depth, even if you don't have a long track record to point to? Let's get into the nitty-gritty. You know, it is so easy to fall into this trap. First-time founders feel this immense pressure to sound smart, so they pack their pitch with industry jargon and layers of complexity. But here's the thing. Experienced investors see right through that. What actually blows them away is simplicity, clarity. The ability to tell a clean, simple story shows that you have true confidence and a deep, deep understanding of the problem you're solving. Instead of pretending you have all the answers, which, let's be real, is a total act, show your learning process in real time. This is so incredibly powerful. Talk about an assumption you had that was just dead wrong and how user feedback put you on the right track. Tell them how 30 customer interviews totally flipped your strategy on its head. This shows you're not driven by ego, you're driven by evidence. And hey, you want to know a real pro move? Signal your quality through the things you chose not to do. Saying no to a huge but distracting enterprise deal, or dropping a feature that looked cool but just confused users. These aren't failures, they are strategic wins. They show you're making the tough calls, just like someone who's done this before. Now, all of these signals, your focus, your learning, your mindset, they all come together in one critical place, your story. As a first-time founder, your story isn't just a nice-to-have. It is your most valuable asset. It's your currency. And how you shape that narrative can change absolutely everything. And let's be crystal clear about this. Practicing your pitch isn't about memorizing lines so you can put on a big show. It's a tool for refining your own thinking. Every single time you tell your story and you stumble or you see a confused look on someone's face, that's a gift. It's an opportunity to sharpen your ideas until your story becomes so clear, so compelling, that it's just impossible to ignore. Look, big visions are great, but investors hear big promises all day long. What really cuts through the noise is what you have already done. So, what are your concrete wins? A simple prototype that's actually shipped? A handful of users who are already engaged? A patent application that's filed? These are tangible proofs of momentum. They show you're not just talking, you are building. Let's put ourselves in the investor's shoes for a minute. Every single one of them is thinking this, especially with a first-time founder. They've seen countless startups hit a wall. So what they desperately want to know is, do you have the grit and the smarts to navigate the chaos when, not if, your initial plan breaks? And the absolute best way to answer that question is to just lean right into it. Don't hide from it. Tell them a story about a time your plan completely fell apart. Explain how you saw the problem, what you did about it, and what you learned from it. This doesn't show weakness, it shows adaptability. And man, that builds a ton of trust. So this all brings us to our final, and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you show up. It's your presence, your attitude. It's what we can call your founder's posture. And let me tell you, your posture has absolutely nothing to do with where you went to school or who you know. It's all about how you carry yourself. You show up prepared. You speak with conviction. You treat your own work with respect. You basically act like the leader of a story that is already happening, and you're just inviting investors to come along for the ride. So if you're thinking, this is great, but I don't have a big network, well, then you have to build your own signal. Start creating a visible trail of your thinking. Write about what you're learning, share quick posts about your market, break down your decisions. That way, when an investor Googles you, they don't find silence. They find a founder who is clearly, visibly in motion. So here's the most crucial takeaway. You do not need to wait for someone else's permission to be taken seriously. The second you start thinking, acting, and building with the discipline of a seasoned founder is the second you completely change how people see you. In the end, you don't need the perfect resume. You just need to send strong, consistent signals that you are here to do the hard work of building something real. So, the only question left is, after all this, what signal are you going to send today?